Let's see what's cooking. Let's get the facts. Let's see what's cooking. It's time for Yo-Yo Max 12.
Pressure cooked beef stew. Start off with 2 pounds of stewing beef. I sprinkled the cubes with a little bit of salt and some freshly ground black pepper. Then I took the beef cubes and I'm going to put them in a bag containing 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. So I put them in the bag, and then you're going to shake the bag around until all the cubes are coated with the flour. And this is just going to help your stew thicken up while it's cooking. Take your pressure cooker, put it on saute, a couple tablespoons of olive oil, and then you're going to put your beef cubes in and you're going to brown them a little bit. Now you can skip this step if you want. It's still going to be really good, but I find by just browning them a little bit, it gives it a really nice flavor to the stew. Now what I did is I just let them brown maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then I would scrape everything up, turn it over, and let it brown for another 2 or 3 minutes. So it's not a lot of extra time. Then I added 2 cups of beef broth to that, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and then 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, and 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, and a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I gave that a stir until the tomato paste was dissolved into the beef broth, and then I added vegetables. Now, of course, the vegetables you add are completely up to you. You can put whatever you want. I would just recommend that you put them in fairly big chunks because don't want them to completely dissolve and disappear when it's cooking. So I put in 3 large potatoes cut into chunks, 3 large carrots cut into chunks, a handful of green beans cut into pieces. I also added 3 celery ribs. Now I usually add onions to this, but I don't know why I didn't this time. I must have forgotten. Usually 1 onion chopped up into fairly big chunks. And then I also added 2 cloves of chopped up garlic. And then just press the meat stew button and on. If you don't have a cassoulet that has those settings, basically you're going to cook it on normal pressure for 30 minutes. And then I let the pressure go naturally for about 10 minutes, but you can quick release if you want. That's up to you. And I'm just giving it a stir here. The broth is fairly thick because of the flour that you added. If you want it thicker, just put it on saute and add a little bit of cornstarch and water mixed together to thicken it up. I like this texture of the broth, so I left it just the way it was. And you have a whole mess of stew that you've made in 30 minutes. And that beef is very, very tender. Super tender beef, just like you had simmered it on your stovetop for an hour, hour and a half. If you have a pressure cooker and you're looking for more recipes, check out my playlist. Thanks for watching.